Oh yeah, the big story, the big story. You gotta have some appreciation for the Pope there, because after they fucking crucified that guy, quick decisions had to be made, right? We had to fucking get this thing going here, Now, we all know that when he died, he said, put this guy in charge. This is Peter. Peter's the man in charge. And Peter's only in charge because Judas fucked me over. Fucking Judas. So Peter's in charge. Now, that being said, there's no clear reference of, Peter was like, well, fuck, I'm in charge now, huh? What happened to the last guy? Oh, they killed him. How'd they kill him? They nailed him to some fucking wood. It's like, yeah, but before they did that, he had a good 10-year run with lots of money and good things, and he was hanging around prostitutes and doing it. No? No, they all hated him. They all threw shit at him. They threw rocks at him no matter where he went. Why? They didn't believe him. What do you mean they didn't believe him? Well, hit pause. Pause button. Now, imagine this. This guy is claimed to be the son of the Lord, and, I can walk up and say, I'm the son of God. It's like, yeah, can you prove it? He's like, well, yes, I'm Jesus Christ. Watch this. He's like, do you have a blind? Oh, that guy's blind? Here, watch this. Vision, my son. And he touches the blind man. The blind man's like, I can fucking see. It's like, yeah, but that blind man was a plant. He put that blind man there. It's like, no, that was, grumpy. That was grumpy Eustachius's grandfather. He's always been here. You can see now. Wow. And the other blind guy, he was missing an eyeball, and the fucking thing grew back. So suggesting that there's such a person walking the earth, and it's very blasphemous to say you're the son of God or God Himself or what have you. It's a pretty fucking big claim. So if you're gonna be making claims like that, you better have some fucking proof. He's like, you want to see fucking proof? Go to the cemetery, resurrection. Boom, he's raising the dead. He's like, there. So that being said, suggesting such a person's walking around doing these things, how could anyone possibly doubt him? How could people throw rocks at him and claim that he's fucking full of shit? The Pharisees, the other Jewish people waiting for their Messiah. The Jews were like, no, I'm sorry, Jesus. We're waiting for our Messiah to come. He's like, yeah, but it's me. I'm the Messiah. Like, we don't think you are. He's like, oh, yeah, blind people, resurrections. He's like, what more do you fucking want? The Jews were like, this is pretty good, bro. The last guy showed up, who do we have before this guy? Like, yeah. We had a guy, Belietsar, he showed up. He's like, is this your card? You're like, oh my God, the Ace of Spades. That was my card. And you? Oh, yeah, resurrecting the dead. Yeah, card tricks, resurrecting the dead. And here we are now, 2,000 years later, and, the Jewish Messiah, he's still yet to arrive. You know, Perhaps they should have questioned, well, maybe that was the guy. I mean, he did bring back those dead people and cured the blind and the lepers and, you know, hmm. And, but, that's just not the way it went. Considering that this is, a day of, the world they lived in was run by the Roman days. And there's Julius Caesar, Emperor of Rome, and he's like, wait, you found a guy who can cure and resurrect the dead, really? And what did you do to him? You brought him to me so that we can make sure all of our top generals and myself can, be infinitely fucking empowered forever. No, you nailed him to pieces of wood, and you poked him with a spear. Okay, what day was that? That was what? You did that what? It was Holy Thursday. Okay, you did that what? Friday? Go fucking hurry up, and if he's the son of God, we still got him alive for another 48 hours. By the time the message gets there, he's dead. But imagine how angry Caesar was. Like, even Pontius Pilate. Pontius Pilate must have been like, oh, I am fucking screwed. What was I thinking? Pontius Pilate must have been like, I'm in big fucking shit. I found a guy who can resurrect the emperor, and he was a carpenter. He didn't build anything apparently, so I nailed him to some wood. If ever there was to be a waste of talent, I suppose that is the definition. Yeah, so there you go. Explain that one. But that was completely off topic. What we were originally speaking about, the topic was the Pope envisioning what was going on. Because you gotta understand what the Pope was all about, right? At the end of the day, the scam is that people walk around and go, inevitably, people go, wait a minute, why? Why am I here? What is here? What is all this, And I suppose there was a time back, let's say roughly, I don't know, I'm going to guess somewhere between 30,000 years ago. I suppose there was an answer to that or whatnot. But apparently, fucking sometime there was a terrible and colossal flood, and there was mass confusion, and the remnants of whatever that culture. Atlantis wasn't a fucking location, it was a time period, I would believe. You can't look for Atlantis on a map. It's a point in history when the world was one, full of logic. And I love the people in the pyramid people. Those are the best. I mean, yes, Egyptian pyramids, astounding. I agree. But did you ever notice, no matter where you go on Earth, you always find pyramids? It's like, that's fucking true. Why is that? And they're like, well, because it's fucking the pyramid people. Oh, yes, yes. It's like, that's strange. Where's the large building that's a large sphere? Oh, no, it's too complicated. Where's the giant cube? Who built the giant cube building in those days? What society? Hmm? It's like, wait a minute. So wait, there was no giant cubes or spheres or rectangles. Oh, I think I know why they might have built pyramids. Could it possibly be because due to the construction of building a large building in those days, the hardest thing to accomplish would be putting a fucking roof on the thing? Hmm? And the good thing about a pyramid is that you can fucking point all the things together at the top, so you don't need a fucking roof. Which logically, if I had to fucking, I always think to myself how the ingenuity of criminals when we were in Bordeaux jail. When we were in Bordeaux jail and all the shit we had to do just to smoke one of these joints, you know? How clever and fucking, it astounded me. Like, you truly see the human being fucking shine. It was one of those things where watch my fellow man, and I'm like, well, bro, how do we do that? He's like, it's easy. All we gotta do is catch a squirrel, tie a rope to its leg, let it go across the street, get a peanut butter jar. I'm like, all that just to get fucking a pack of matches? I'm like, holy shit, bro. He's like, bro, listen, you want a pack of matches? That's how it works. Now go catch a squirrel. I'll get the string. You're like, yeah, okay. So considering, you know, I've seen what people will go through to achieve success, I came to the realization that if you put me in a situation where I had to build a giant fucking triangle for no good reason, that's another thing too. I mean, when you read the mystery of the cocaine mummies, it kind of clears up the answer. You're like, wait a minute. Do you ever do blow with some people like that? Do blow with regular people, okay? Talk to the average. Give someone a fucking gram of blow and have them sniff. Just an average person, and hear what they have to say. Then imagine like a billionaire, okay? Someone that gets whatever you want, or the Pharaoh of Egypt. This guy's sniffing lines, and all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, wait a minute, bro, this is not good. It's not good. What's wrong?" He's like, "I'm worried that when I die, they're gonna fuck with my body." They're like, "Oh, he's like, if I die, I need my body, bro. I can't let them fuck with my body." Okay, guys, here's what we're gonna do. And he does a big line. He's like, "All right, you guys, you're gonna build me a giant triangle in the desert. Yeah, and you put me in there when I die, and don't let anyone fuck with me when I'm dead, okay? So write that down. Giant triangle in the desert. Put my body in there and don't let anyone fuck with me." And the guy writes it down and it's something like fucking, it's a drawing of a pyramid and the guy doing this and like a dead guy and, people trying to fuck with him with a stick or something. He's like, yeah, good. Now start building the giant triangle. That's how it happened, right? It was the fourth dynasty. King Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure. Yeah, they're all fucking whacked on blow and he's like, build quickly. I think I'm dying. Oh god, I'm dying. He's bad tripping. He's like, I'm dying. I need a giant triangle. Fast. Build one. And that's how it all began. The origins were simple. You can't overthink these things, That's how it all began. I mean, as for, polygonal masonry, a little bit more difficult to explain. As for, these stones so close together without any mortar or cement, also kind of hard. The fact that the Sphinx was definitely not a person on a cat's body. Like, what the fuck was that exactly? What was all that about? And let's say by chance, Khufu did build that fucking giant fucking triangle. Well, what was there before he built it? Something was there before he built it. What was it? And you know what's interesting? People are like, well, what was the pyramid for? You say, well, it was a tomb. It's like, well, it doesn't really look like the other tombs, And you got people saying it was a giant fucking energy plant. It produced electricity. It's like, what they plug in? He said, what they plugged in there, there's a drawing of a Egyptian with a giant light bulb. I said, well, how many giant light bulbs did they have, Is it possible the pyramid doesn't do anything? For instance, okay, I'm going to have to cut the video here. Pause, because now I hit pause. This is the secret chapter, and I'm not supposed to tell you guys. Uncle Leo taught me about Freemasonry that, of course, 33rd degree is the plateau, but it jumps. York Rite goes from 1 to 13 is the York Rite of Freemasonry. Scottish Freemasonry goes up to 33, but very few people know this. There's an additional branch where it jumps from 33 to 90. There's nothing in between. It goes 33, and then instead of 34, 90. This is the Memphis of Mizraim, Egyptian Freemasonry. There was two different rituals. There was Memphis and there was Mizraim, and they merged to find and For instance, these rituals, I myself, I am not familiar with what it is. The reenactment is at that level. Must be massive. But it's only done when it's, let's say you are the person going through the ritual, you do it in the pyramid. It was the one that they did for Napoleon. When Napoleon locked shit down and took it over, that's where he did it. Okay, so here. Now, the Sphinx originally was Anubis, the god of the dead. And before the pyramid was there, all the bottom, all the underneath, like fucking, that was one thing that even Graham Hancock and everyone else was so shocked by. You go into the pyramid, and when you rise up the pyramid, it's fucking glorious. Glorious. But when you go to the bottom level, it's like fucking cave. So you got beautiful granite blocks, perfectly aligned and perfectly cut. And then what's this way? It's like, oh, it leads to the basement, but there's a fucking cave with some water. It's like, is it a nice cave? No, it's a fucking hole in the ground. That was all that was there. Listen, if you look at the second pyramid, not King Khufu, not Cheops pyramid, the second one, the Khafre pyramid, you'll notice that it's on a giant platform. And the platform is, I believe it's black granite. That's what was there. It was an underground ritual. You got to keep things in mind that, for instance, in all the old mythologies, Egyptian, Norse, fucking Roman, that the underworld wasn't where you go when you died. There was heaven, there was hell, there was the underworld. For instance, in Greek mythology, you had fucking the Aegean Fields. If you were a hero and died, you went to the Aegean Fields, which was heaven. If you were a villain and died, you went to Tartarus, which was hell. Not to be confused with the underworld. See what I'm saying here? There's heaven and hell, which are different dimensions. But the underworld is not hell. For instance, Pluto, the god of the underworld, Hades, the god of the underworld, wasn't in charge of hell. Tartarus was a different location, you see. So all of these rituals were the basis that lead you underground. Here's another big secret. All of these old religions that speak of all these things, do any of them ever speak of, the heavens as in space? Never. You got everyone looking in telescopes, looking up there. There's nothing up there. You got fucking lights in the sky, and you got stars and wandering stars. That's all that's up there. It's all below. It's all below. And if you want to wonder why Saturn is so prevalent in everything turns to Saturn. You know, the original worship of the six-pointed star, or Saturnian. You gotta ask yourself, what's at the South Pole of Saturn? Just take a look, it will blow your fucking mind. The proof is there, you can look it up, but you'll never find it. They've structured it so that, the truth is blindingly confusing. No matter, the Pope figured it out, no matter where he went, people would kill each other over their God versus your God. He's like, my God is Ares, the god of war. The other guy's like, no, my God is Mars, the god of war. And the Pope's sitting there saying, wait a minute. Is he the guy where his pops, the guy you're talking about, his pops, his dad was on a mountain, throws lightning at people? Like, yeah. And his uncle was a guy who was always at the water. He had a big stick, he had a stick that looked like a big fork. It's like, yeah. And he had a brother named Apollo. Because no matter what mythology, Apollo is always Apollo. It's like, yeah. And that was the key. It was very rare that the Pope showed up somewhere and it's like, what do you guys believe in? And the answer wasn't something that was, it always broke down to 4 different cults, 4 or 5. You had lunar cults, you had solar cults. Those were the 2 prominent ones. Then you had, the third largest one were I call it the mushroom cults, the tripping cults. You had a group of people, no matter where you went, they believed in that the true nature of being. If you really want to see the Lord, you eat this fucking mushroom. And you go on this, and truth be told, eat some fucking wild mushrooms. And watch what happens. You're going to fucking see the Lord. So no matter where you went, that was extremely prominent. You had the worship of Mithras, for instance. Mithra was the exact, or the Smurfs cap. If you look, the cap of Mithra, that's the stoner cap, man. That's for the group of people who are like, yeah, the sun's great and so is the moon, but I look up at the sun, it hurts my eyes. I look up at the moon, well, it's nice, but You know, if you really want to see the Lord, you got to eat these mushrooms. That's what it's all about. So you have fucking lunar cults, you had the solar cults, and then you had the drug cults. They believe that, so you want to know what God is? Well, you can feel God when you eat this. And then fucking Christ, when they make it to the other side of the planet, the drug cults were fucking, forget about it. There's shit there. He's like, drink this ayahuasca, and now come to the Puma Puma Puma, and you will hear the sound of the Puma. And you'd be sitting there in this fucking cave, whacked out of your mind under this waterfall, and the water's rushing all around you. And then you hear the fucking roar of the Puma while you're flying on ayahuasca. I mean, these fucking... No wonder Cortez and fucking Pizarro killed them all. They were fucking nuts over there. Next question, people. So, you have a portion of the world undisturbed. South America, you have prominent empires. You have the Inca at the very bottom. You have the Mayans in Central America. You then have the Aztecs in Mexico. And you know, that being said, there's hundreds of indigenous groups of Native Mexicans. Not Native Mexicans, forgive me, Native Indians. So, what's up with North America? Big giant piece of land and no empire, and then you got Eskimos on top? What the fuck's up with that? Someone, please explain. And for that matter, you gotta know where things come from. We do things on our daily basis not knowing why we started doing them. Like this one, for instance, this. Hi! The fuck's up with that? Why do we do this? Where did that come from? What's the story with that? Oh, what's the story with that? Well, that ties into what I'm talking about. Apparently, the natives would tell Pizarro and his men that, you know, when traveling in the forest, you know, little bands of Indians, they chronically were at war. And this is another thing. When we find their ancient remains, like, it appears that the Pueblos, they just disappeared. And, you know, if you go to the Chochaco ruins, they disappeared. And they were cannibals. They ate each other. They're cannibals. Tisk, tisk, tisk. The natives had this problem where they had a being that would hunt them. And they said that this individual was much larger than them. They were probably around 5'5", and this would be 7 foot plus. And these beings had 6 fingers and had 2 rows of teeth. They were giants. So the reason we go like this, hi, was that, hey, there's some people over there. Are they okay? Or do like this, show them. We'd stick up, look, 5 fingers, high 5. And the other guy would go high 5. You're like, okay, they're okay. And if the guy was like, look, he's hiding a finger, it's them. And why did it have to come down to that? Because if it didn't, they would kill and fucking eat you. Eat you. And I'm going to tell you a sacred word and turn this video off. It's the literal translation. Man-corn. Yes, I said man-corn. What, you think that's fucking funny? You think man-corn is funny? You have no idea the wealth of power of answer I just gave you. It took me so fucking many years to figure out man-corn. And that's all I'll say about that. You go out there and learn yourself. Can't be getting all that fucking message and all that learning shit for free. Okay, I'll tell you, but you gotta support my Patreon account and send money. That's another thing, we gotta figure out a donation. I'm fucking giving you way too many answers. Fucking doing this, and it's gonna be fucking shot by the Pope. You want the Pope to come here and fucking pick a fight with me? Fuck. You know, Pope Frankie. You know what that is? That's Pope Frankie Bones. Don't fuck with Pope Frankie Bones. That guy's serious. You know? It's for the... I can't think of the last time we had a Jesuit white Pope. Think of the power. And I don't know if you guys knew what that guy was up to back between the years 1967 to the year 1979. A lot of people died. A lot of dead people around this guy's part of town. I'm not saying he himself, but I'm saying the part of town that you from where? Oh, you're from that part of town. Where for that fucking 15 years, those 40,000 citizens were tortured to death and mysteriously disappeared. Yes. And what were you doing in those years? You were employed where? Okay, that's very scary, bro. I'm getting the fuck out of here before it's too late.